Cinema lenses. They are big and heavy, but damn, the footages are beautiful. Now for the average movie studio, the cost of buying a cinema lens or renting one is close to nothing. But when it comes to average consumers, well, you can go for a big down payment on your house or buy a set of prime lenses. This is where we started to look for the cheapest Cine Prime lenses for our setup. After watching countless hours of reviews of people using it and doing the hard math of price to performance ratio, we realized the MicroPrime Cine 35mm T1.3 from SLR Magic is one of them. So what makes it the go-to option when it comes to budget Cine Prime lenses? Here, we'll share our first impression. SLR Magic is a favorite among no film school and indie shooters because of its inexpensive lens options that run the gamut from prime to anamorphic, covering several sensor sizes and camera mounts. Costing around $450, the MicroPrime Cine 35mm T1.3 is the cheapest Cine lens that you can get your hands on, and for the money, it's really hard to find something like that. People who choose a smaller size over bulk and weight will instantly fall in love with this lens. At least we are. By looking at it, we found it's a very compact lens, but that's not to discount its quality bill. This is 100% metal and glass. There's not a single ounce of plastic on this lens other than the lens and back cap. That's it. The interior diameter on this lens is 82mm, which is sizable, but it's not too big to the point where you can't put filters on the front of this lens. The outside diameter of this lens is very cleverly done in that it is 85mm, and that is very important because while it is on the smaller end of industry standard filter sizes for putting a matte box on a lens, it is still within the industry standard size, so you can throw a matte box onto this lens and have your 4x4 or 4x5 filters that you like to use on your bigger cinema camera packages. Possibly one of our favorite things about this lens is that it has a clickless aperture setting, so you can go from T1.3 all the way up to T16 completely seamlessly. And it has a new 9-blade aperture structure, but gives you a pretty good circular bokeh in the background. Now, it's not the standard 14 or 16 that you're going to see for brands like Arri or Zeiss, but this is a $450 lens. Those lenses can be hundreds of thousands of dollars. These were the good things that we felt with our initial hands-on. Now on to the bad stuff. Obviously, nothing's perfect. Even the most expensive lenses have their own inherent issues, but this one has some very unique ones. SLR Magic lenses are not particularly compatible with cameras that have EF mounts or PL mounts, because they primarily work with mirrorless cameras, and that's fine if you're shooting on stuff like the FS5 Sony, mirrorless cameras like the A7 series or A6500 and below, and stuff like that, and likewise for cameras that are a bit bigger like the Sony FS7, A7 II, and even the Sony F5 and F55 can have E-mount lenses on the camera, but for cameras that don't support, you can buy Sony adapters. Another thing about being a manual lens is the usage time is much longer than using electronic or photography-based lenses, and this is across the board with all cinema lenses. So that was our first impression with the SLR Magic MicroPrime Cine 35mm T1.3. With a proper balance of price and performance, this lens is one of the cheapest Cine lenses that you should aim for. We'll be using this lens from now on for our projects, and we'll definitely share the full experience with you guys. Till then, stay tuned.